If you do not live in Erie, there is a good chance that you didn't even know that there was an election there today to pick a mayor and trustees in that town that's right on the Weld-Boulder County line. The amount of dark money that is pouring in to influence Erie's choices in the election indicates that oil and gas interests certainly see a lot at stake. Here's Steve Staker.
It surprised Erie mayoral candidate Kelly Zuniga at first that someone on the outside would set up an independent committee to support her campaign. But then again,
well, it surprised me that you were paying attention to it.
There are two so-called independent expenditure committees registered to support Zuniga and other candidates with similar ideas. IECs allow groups of donors to spend money on independent campaigns for a particular candidate, while not donating directly to that candidate. One IEC is a coalition of home builders in the metro area that's spent nearly $10,000 advertising for her and a candidate for trustee. The other, a group called Erie for a Strong Future, set up to support Zuniga and a slate of candidates for trustee. A group that, as of the latest filing through March 26th, hadn't spent any money on the race yet.
I honestly don't have the foggiest notion who they are. They do that entirely on their own. They can't, in fact, it's a rule. They can't even have any contact with a candidate. And so it's not anything that I was aware of until it sort of happened.
Zuniga's opponent, Justin Brooks, says there's an agenda, waivers to oil and gas regulations.
I believe the objective here is that if they're able to elect a board of trustees that is sympathetic to oil and gas interests, they will be able to lobby COGCC to allow waivers.
He says he didn't expect so much outside money in a local race.
We have tens of thousands of dollars being poured into this election, and it's not about local issues, it's about special interests.
They like to turn everything into oil and gas. They think I drink it for breakfast. They absolutely have no understanding of who I am or what I stand for.
Zuniga says she isn't necessarily for or against oil and gas operations in Erie and will make decisions independently.
Well, I don't define myself for or against any industry.
There was a third independent expenditure committee involved here, a group called the Better Jobs Coalition. They sent out mailers to Erie voters to remind them to turn in their ballots. That group is led by conservative donor Rick Enstrom. Problem is, they actually listed the wrong address for the voter drop box on that flyer. Enstrom tells me they realized the mistake. It was a staffer who made the mistake, saw it on a website, sent a corrected flyer to everyone who got the first flyer. But they were not registered with the town of Erie because they were simply doing a get out the vote drive. They think that they have legal precedent that they do not have to register since they weren't exactly supporting a candidate.
And Steve, is this one of those situations where we're only going to find out after the election that some outside group poured in an enormous amount of money? I remember years ago in a Douglas County school board race, you had national teachers unions swearing, no, we're not involved, we're not involved. And then you saw the filing months after the election that they dumped in a boatload of money at the end.
It's interesting because this Erie for a Strong Future was set up in mid-March. It has spent no money, it has brought in no money. And everybody thinks maybe in that last week before Election Day, before the May 5th filing, that they'll spend some sort of money. I was told by the registered agent today that her client chose not to spend money on this race. So there you go.
They're holding it for their strong future. All right, Steve, thank you.